You know, these MAGA podcasters who sold out their audience to shill for right-wing oligarchs, now they're deeply regretting it. You have Joe Rogan and Theo Von and what's that guy, Scholes, and others who were saying, actually, what ICE is doing is really bad. Actually, Donald Trump is covering up the Epstein files. On Theo Von, he had Bernie Sanders as a guest this past week. I just want to show you, as these MAGA Republican podcasters are admitting that they made the worst mistake of their lives. Now, some of these podcasters are worse than others, so I'll try to draw a distinction when possible. But first, I'll show you the most MAGA of them all, the deepest betrayal of them all, I think, to his listeners, Joe Rogan. You know, and it's always interesting to me because I'm always being told, you're like the left's Joe Rogan. I'm like, I'm not the freaking left's Joe Rogan. I would never want to be anything like this guy at all. I just want to be the MeidasTouch podcast that stands up for humanity, that fights for empathy, that wants to restore democracy and freedom. It's just that simple to me. But anyway, here's Joe Rogan this past week talking about the Epstein files. Here, let's play this clip.
Well, it's going to go on for a long time, I suspect. I mean, they said they released them, but what did they release?
No, they're still not all out yet.
But what did they release?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. The whole thing's weird.
It reminds me of that Onion article where they're like, oh, CIA realizes they've been using a black highlighter this entire time. Like, it's like that. It's like, oh, okay, you just blacked out pages.
Redacted the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
It's like, what did they release? Did they release something recently?
No, they haven't released anything in a minute. They had that initial release where everything was blacked out and it was that picture of Winnie the Pooh, which was hilarious.
But isn't there talk about some new releases that are happening soon?
Have they? It feels like everything's been drowned out by everything else been going on with like the Somalians and the ICE shooting. It feels like that's completely drowned out anything about it.
I think some of that's on purpose.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then you had Andrew Scholes this past week saying that he doesn't like how ICE is covering up their face. He's like, they got the shiesty on. It's insane what these ICE officers are doing in the streets. They're terrorizing and torturing people, Andrew. They are terrorizing and torturing communities like terrorists, like the Gestapo, like the SS. And sadly, what you were doing before as a podcaster enabled this to happen. Weren't you all supposed to be like the don't tread on me crowd? This Trump regime is exactly like authoritarian regimes across the globe, whether it's Putin or Kim Jong-un or Saudi Arabia or the Ayatollah in Iran. Trump is like them. Play this clip of Scholes. Let's play it.
This is why all ICE people need their names on their badges. Because now you're getting people mixed up in the crosshairs.
Talk to me.
Because if they're like, I don't know, apparently like they're not named. Like apparently they don't have like.
Well, yeah, they got the shiesties on.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Right? It is insane.
Yeah. It's a tough look.
And I think that like because we don't see it in New York, like we're like somewhat detached from it. New Yorkers would not be going with this shit at all.
But then they fight.
That happening like 20th Canal, and we weren't with that shit, and we were
no, on Canal it's fine, but they wouldn't be fine with it happening. Listen, Canal, we got to clean some stuff up. But that's how this shit works.
And then you have Senator Bernie Sanders on the Theo Von podcast. And Senator Sanders, let's listen to what he had to say. And Theo Von's like, I agree, Bernie. I agree. Trump has authoritarian energy. Authoritarian energy, Theo? You're almost there. He is an authoritarian, period. Here, play this clip.
What Trump is using ICE for now is a domestic military operation. And it's part of this intimidation. And if you stand up, and that woman in Minnesota, Good is her name?
Renee Good.
Renee Good, all right. I saw that video. You know, you don't shoot somebody in the head who's in that car. And I think it's Trump saying, I have the power, and we got domestic army, it's called ICE, and we're going to go out there, and we're going to arrest, and we're going to intimidate. And part of that, this is what Trumpism is about. It's intimidation. All right, you're in the media, you're CBS, you say something, I'm going to sue you, you know. Theo, you say something I don't like, I may sue you. You know, I don't like Venezuela, I'm going to, send in the troops. I got the power and I'm going to use it. I really, that scares me because that's what authoritarianism is about. So should we deal with immigration through comprehensive reform? Absolutely. I think that's what the American people want. Do we want guys with masks around their face, dragging people out of their apartments, out of their cars. I don't think so. I don't think that's what the American people want.
Yeah.
More and more resentment to that. So,
yeah, and we're in a tough spot too because we see things more now, right? We see all of it.
Yes, you do.
We see it. So before you would just hear about it, or you would knew it was a plan,
That's
but you
right.
didn't have the visual effect of it and how the visual effect makes you feel.
Cell phones have revolutionized politics, and that's everybody got a cell phone can take a.
And I think that's one of the side effects. Like too, like I agree. Like Trump has an authoritarian energy, right?
Back to Joe Rogan here, who says, you know what ICE is doing? They're like effing shooting a lady. It seems like kind of crazy, man. Yeah, murder's crazy, Joe Rogan. We understand that. Terrorizing communities is crazy, Joe Rogan. Sending people to concentration camp. Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy, dude. Kidnapping 5-year-olds and 2-year-olds. Yeah, man, that's kind of a little bit crazy. Listen to what Rogan says here. Play this clip.
But then it's also like, yeah, what ICE is doing, like fucking shooting that lady seems kind of crazy. You know, like grabbing people that happen to be American citizens and fucking dragging them out onto the snow and asking them for their papers. That seems kind of fucking crazy too.
When was the last time you truly trusted the seafood you brought home? For me, it used to be a constant question mark. Nutrition, sustainability, taste, where it even came from. That all changed when I discovered Wild Alaskan Company. Wild Alaskan Company is hands down the best way to get wild-caught, perfectly portioned, nutrient-dense seafood delivered right to your door. And trust me, you haven't tasted fish this good. I still remember my first box. I went with a whitefish box, halibut, cod, pollock, and I made a miso cod that honestly tasted better than what you get at some of the fanciest restaurants. The flavor is clean, rich, and incredibly fresh, and it cooks beautifully. What really matters to me is that it's 100% wild caught, never farmed, no antibiotics, no GMOs, no additives, just real fish that supports healthy oceans and fishing communities. It's frozen right off the boat to lock in flavor and nutrients like omega-3s, and everything is sustainably sourced from Alaska. My personal favorite is that cod, but I'm also all about that halibut. It's unbelievably versatile, and there is no risk. If you're not completely satisfied with your first box, Wild Alaskan Company offers a 100% money-back guarantee. Not all fish are the same. Get seafood you can trust. Go to wildalaskan.com/Meidas for $35 off your first box of premium wild-caught seafood. That's wildalaskan.com/Meidas, MEIDAS, for $35 off your first order. Thanks to Wild Alaskan Company for sponsoring this episode.
I want to show you one more clip of Bernie Sanders on Theo Von. Let's play this clip right here.
This stuff is moving very, very quickly. It is being pushed by the wealthiest people in the world who, in my view, could care less about ordinary people who want more wealth and more power. Now, they deny all that stuff. That's my view. I think we got to slow it down and ask the question that you asked. All right, if AI can, and it can, do some good medical diagnoses, do some good blood testing, is that a good thing? It is a good thing. If you're working in a crap job in a factory, right, and AI can increase worker productivity so you could work 20 hours a week rather than 40 hours a week, is that a good thing? I think it is, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. If the company then shares some of the profits that the company is making with the workers.
So that's the issue. It's a very simple proposition. Who is AI and robotics going to work for? Does it work to improve human life? Or does it work to make the billionaires even richer? That's the question that we've got to focus on.
Yeah.
Now someone who's more of a right-wing podcaster, I would say he's less MAGA and more right-wing. But here's Tim Dillon, and Tim Dillon said, these are clumsy, insane, over-the-top deportations. Play this clip.
When you have this clumsy, kind of somewhat insane, over-the-top deportations, people are looking at this and going, and this is, what did they use, this Sabrina Carpenter song?
Yeah.
Play this. Let's see.
Have you ever tried this one? Have you ever tried this one? Have you ever tried this one?
It's unserious. It's unserious. It's childish. It's cruel. I think one of the problems with whatever the MAGA movement has evolved into is it's duped their hardcore followers so much that the only thing left now is performative cruelty.
And Tim Dillon went after Barry Weiss and CBS for their total capitulation. Play this clip.
Now, Barry Weiss, friend of the show, is the editor-in-chief of CBS News. And Barry is running that news company into the ground at a pace and a rate that even surprises me. I'm even shocked. It is a 1990s slapstick comedy how Barry Weiss is failing over there. By the way, it's unbelievable.
And then Tim Dillon talked about how these ICE raids are so bad and so crazy. Listen to what he has to say here. Let's play this one.
And some of these ICE raids are so barbaric and they're so crazy. And these like 19-year-old college students are being deported to Honduras and they've lived there their whole life. Again, it's wrong on its face. Like it shouldn't be happening in the chaotic, insane way that it's happening. When you look at someone, a grandmother, get handcuffed and zip tied and thrown into a car by a bunch of masked psychopaths, not only is that wrong.
And more right here on Joe Rogan saying the quiet part out loud. Let me play this clip.
Then they start showing up at Home Depot. Instead of like looking for gangbangers, looking for criminals and cartel members, they go to whatever's easiest pickings so they can get numbers up. There's do you know Ed Calderon? Do you know who he is? He worked he was a Mexican military guy who now is an American citizen, but he reports extensively on the cartels and just was telling me some horror stories about ICE raids. And one of them was they took this guy who'd been brought over here when he was a baby, but didn't have American citizenship. His family, came over here illegally, lived here for 20 years, can't speak Spanish. They deport him, send him to Tijuana.
Can't speak Spanish.
Does not speak Spanish. He is essentially an American citizen. He just never lived anywhere else. He just doesn't have the paperwork. He's not a criminal. They sent him over to Tijuana, and now he has to live in Mexico. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's on the streets. Has no idea. He doesn't have any money.
And then finally, let me show one more clip of Tim Dillon saying, I don't believe the cop was justified in doing the shooting. Here, play this clip.
I don't believe the cop was justified in shooting her 3 times in the face. By the way, I've always believed this. And this is something that I've caught heat for, but I've literally believed it since I'm a kid. I don't believe you should ever shoot someone in the face more than once. Seriously, I just think it's ridiculous. So that they did that and these are not well-trained law enforcement people in ICE right now. We're taking people that did backyard wrestling. I mean, the people that are in ICE right now this is your cousin who was in backyard wrestling. This is tough. This is not the cream of the crop. You know the guys that kidnapped Maduro, like Delta Force, Navy SEALs? This is not them. This is not the Delta Force, Navy SEAL people. This is people that this is people on their 3rd grade report card the teacher wrote that has violent tendencies. This is not, it just is what it is.
Yeah, they're all having this awakening now. Maybe it's because the MeidasTouch Network's the #1 podcast in the country right now because we've stood on our values and principles. We didn't waver in our values and our principles. We're fighting for the people. We're fighting for the general strike that took place in Minnesota. We're standing on behalf of democracy. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's where the people are. And maybe you shouldn't betray the people. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Let's subscribe to our audio podcast as well. And thanks so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.